Something that's really annoying me, because I have both these players on different fantasy teams, and that is, why are all the wide receivers getting hurt? I know you know who I'm talking
Because they're
about.
wide receivers.
No, stop it. Are you wide receiver prejudice? Are you anti-wide receiver-ite?
They're out there. They go across the center sometimes, and they get hit. All right,
they do.
That's how it goes.
But so we have Calvin Johnson going down, and I mean, Lucas, what do you think is going to be the impact on the Lions with Calvin Johnson probably being out of the lineup this week?
It'll be quite a big impact, but they still have weapons. Eric Ebron, that new rookie tight end, he's actually showing up this season. He actually made a couple good plays. Golden Tate is, he's not Calvin Johnson, but he's still a solid, and they can still win. Their defense has stepped up tremendously this year, so they can still win this week. They're going to have to step it up a little bit more. Remember, Calvin Johnson was held without a catch last week. He did get injured, but he was still held without a catch last week.
You really don't have to remind me. He was on my team, got me 0 points.
No, he was on my team too.
So he was on everybody's team and got nobody any points. What the hell?
He wasn't on my team.
Well, and then we have A.J. Green, another one of those prolific deep threat receivers, and he got... Now, it wasn't going to be like he was out of the game, but then yesterday he was carted off the field because of his toe injury. So that's another big impact because he's Andy Dalton's favorite receiver. I don't know. What type of impact do you think that'll have on them, Lucas?
Another huge impact, but once again, you're still looking at the other receivers. They have a pretty actually not bad run game going on. Andy Dalton can still deliver the ball to other receivers. Mohamed Sanu. Mm-hmm. He's actually been showing up pretty well this year, but I don't think they will be able to win this week without A.J. Green.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right with the running because Giovanni Bernard, he's one of the best pass-catching running backs out there, and he's really stepped up his running game, too, since they kind of got rid of Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. So it is going to be interesting now. They do lean a lot on their defense, but we'll see if that's enough to bring them through this week. And speaking of more injuries, I don't know, there's a lot of injuries this week, but Cardinals, Drew Stanton just got hurt last week, and if you don't know who he is, he was the guy who was replacing Carson Palmer and helped lead them to their really good 3-1 start, I believe, so far this year. Now, he just got hurt last week. Now, their backup came in. They did lose. I believe they were playing the Broncos. Mm-hmm. But it looks like Carson Palmer will be coming back. He had some electroshock therapy in his dead nerve or something like that. And it seems to have brought it back to life. How do you think this offense is going to look with Carson Palmer back at the helm? Are we going to see a little more of Larry Fitzgerald, hopefully?
I want to say yes, but my fantasy stats say no. He's going to have a good game eventually this season. And going against us this week, we actually, shockingly, we have not allowed that many fantasy points against opposing wide receivers. So I would say no. He's not going to improve at least this week. He'll have eventually a good game, but not this week against us.
You're right. If you're a tight end, though, you catch 3 touchdowns, and you're good.
Yeah.
Because the Arizona Cardinals are playing the Redskins this week.
I think the other thing to consider, too, is he's been out for a few weeks, and it always that's not an insignificant amount of time to have to, get back in it, and get back in the flow with the other players. So if he just got back from some electroshock therapy, I don't know how well you recover from that. But I would expect to see at least a couple weeks of getting back in the groove.
Well, I mean, his injury was kind of, his nerve went dead, so I believe it was just not receiving the electrical signals that his brain was trying to send it as well, which sounds pretty scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that sounds severe.
But so I think they sent some pulses through there or did something, and that started to reinvigorate it. There was no permanent nerve damage going on there, but yeah.
Yeah, but that also sounds like the kind of injury that weakens the muscle significantly over that time. So he's probably he's going to take him some time, I think, to get back in the groove of things, to rebuild whatever muscle he may or may not have lost, and just a little bit of time. But that's like Lucas was saying. I don't expect much this week. I honestly would say probably don't expect too much the week after that, but it won't be too long before you can start expecting something out of the guy. Like this season, we'll probably see something because it was only 3 weeks and it wasn't that bad of an injury.
And so when we drafted the Words to My Face League, I did draft RG3. Carson Palmer was my capable backup, and both of them went away. Now I have Austin Davis, and I couldn't be happier. So, that's neither here nor there.
Kirk Cousins. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah. It worked out well the first game. All right, thank you very much. He had like 30 points almost for me the first game. So yeah.
We're too bad for against Philly. He played good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was a good one. And then
Jacksonville and nobody picked him up for a Jacksonville game.
Yeah, right. You got me 5 points for the Giants game.
Ooh, damn! I thought he would at least got you negative.
Yeah, I was expecting negative too. He should have got you negative.
Yeah, he did have
play against you that week.
And who won?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Okay. We'll talk about that later. We'll save all of my victory speeches for later. But another person coming back from injury this week is the young quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, the kid out at LSU. Now, I've actually liked him. He didn't start right away this season, but what he's shown me in the first couple weeks is he's kind of played like the Redskins expected RG3 to play. Got a good head on his shoulders, mobile, but doesn't always run. Uses his arm a little bit more.
I think, you know what, Teddy Bridgewater, I have a lot of faith in him. Eventually, he'll be a great, not a great, but he'll be a very solid quarterback as long as they get Adrian Peterson back.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with that. But Teddy Bridgewater, it seemed like he made a lot out of nothing. I'm trying to name one of his wide receivers, and Cordarrelle Patterson comes to mind, and this kid kind of came out of nowhere this year. Okay, nobody has any thoughts on that one. So.
All right,
all right, go ahead.
I'm trying to say something. I didn't want to just talk. I was waiting for Brendan. I didn't want to just cut Brendan off.
No, just look at Brendan's stone face. Nobody in the viewer audience can see it, but we can see Brendan's stone face. Brendan, say something just so the audience can see your stone face. See, that's his stone face.
Just to put it, just to top it off, with Teddy Bridgewater, he might have a couple games, good games this season, but once again, it's his first rookie season, so he'll have a couple of games because people are going to try and, they're not going to get everything on tape that they want to get. What's going to happen afterwards? Cordarrelle Patterson's good, but Cordarrelle Patterson is, honestly, he's not a number one receiver. Not yet.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
Greg Jennings has always been a solid, reliable target, but he's old. He's in
his mid-30s now, so
he's getting up there in age. So he's lost a step. So you have to take all that into a factor. And without Adrian Peterson, even though Asiata is playing very well, he'll have a decent season if he comes back, but he's not going to be stellar.
Well, and let's stick on